Alright, so I could be wrong, but most likely correct. Just gonna dive straight into it. Just go straight for the gold and just the full-on expression of greatness. That is the excellence of aura all the time around the golden light being that is Gaia, and around the golden light beings that is we are, and around the golden light being that is me, and around the golden light city that is all that is, and around the functionality of the amazing miraculousness of things that may need to be released and things that may not need to be released. But regardless, the super excellence of the transformation of creation, the transformation of life, the transformation of essence, the transformation of us, the transformation of creation, the transformation of the leadership of leading into it. And like, what does this even mean? Like, how do we acknowledge freedom? Like, what does this even mean? I know exactly what it means. We have been given the opportunity to absolutely align with freedom that has to do with Americana in terms of anything that can liberate us in any way that is absolute prosperity, absolute abundance, and absolute freedom. But we have to recognize that we are stronger together, supportive together, just like in this aura field of just excellence all the time. So there's really nothing to fear, and it's amazing because like the amazing fearlessness that is within us, just allows us to trudge on like wherever we go. Honestly, like the vision that I have is just electric. The heart that I have is humongous. The skin organ is tremendous. And the organs that are within me are vital and huge and collectively united in an organized front of just awesome splendidness. Every single facet and every single cell of my body is striving towards the leadership to create the best possible environment that includes everything. Just everything from health, from communication to vibrancy to transportation. The best of the best requires, I was going to say requires me, but more importantly requires amazing gusto, absolute acceleration, and absolutely importantly the signification of the greatness of the victories that we've already accomplished. And history, this is who we are. We are the best of the best. We are the creators of this realm, and we've always been that way. And I do want to put every word out there to make sure that it's known, because every transformation is for that. For that excellence of the divinity in dream deliberations. And I want to be more specific about that. It's not like some dream, like some distant thing. Absolutely not. It's a power. It's a superpower. It's literally unconditional love in that state, in that dream state, which we can access at all times. And it's not something that's like every now and again. It's just something that I've absolutely powerfully capable of creating. And even I underestimate myself at times, just like how large my soul is, how large my heart is, how deep my connection and desire to be with the connector. The connector of all things is to be with the creator. That's what I want. Like, that's really what I want. Like, that's what I care for. That's what my heart desires. That's like what I'm driving for. To get to know myself, to get to know this inner being, to get to know this creature within me that just has the heart to do so many things. Just has the ability to believe in self. And to really, create vitality, to create life, and to really succeed. And that's what matters, That's what matters to me. And things are calming and things are relaxing. And, there's lots of reasons to succeed. And that's success. That's one aspect of success. The success that I've achieved is just the success of this self-discovery of just excellence within me. And I love it. I love the truth of who I am. Like, that, it's like a discovery thing. A discovery of the excellence of who is this embodied soul. Like, who is this person within me? You know, like, questions. These questions have answers? Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that there's tremendous possible success, and life is full of tremendous truth of what we can unite ourselves with, and what we can combine our love with and light with, and what we can dream, and what we can ultimately create. Because that's what I'm all about. I'm about creating. I want to create new things. I want to create new, mentalities. I want to create new ideas. I want to be that, being that beacon of light and that assertion of, a better today, and just that confidence in today. And, that's what matters. That's what matters. And I feel loved, and I feel like I'm capable and trustworthy, and I'm able, and that's an important aspect of life in general, but more importantly, it's an important aspect to remember. So, whatever has to do with just high vibrational fields in general, I am fully supportive of, and that's probably the best form of support to have. One of the best forms of support is inner support. Inner acknowledgement of light and inner truth. Inner awakening. Inner tenacity. Inner growth. And just doing whatever it takes to really just be that model person of excellence, no matter what. So, I have been totally aware of the amazing excellence that is in the universe, and I've been made aware of the excellence that's within our multiverse. And I respect that. I have a lot of respect for just really not being afraid. A lot of respect for conquering fears and conquering things that would normally cause fear. Because there's supposedly were things that would cause ideas of separation or the like. And there really isn't any danger. And this turns out to be one of the most successful revolutions in the world. That's what I think, and believe, and know. But yeah, I mastered the entire ideology of the economy of what could become, because I've mastered that transition, and that's what's happens. That's what occurs, and that's what allows greater freedom is opening up to the self and really discovering the greatness that's within. And you always win. You always have that clarity of excellence, no matter what. And the truth is, who can keep up? Like, I immediately went to, I didn't even go from Space Force to, even though I definitely stand by the truth statement that I said to Trump, over the show, or on the show about, me willing to want to go back in to be a leader and, lead in the Space Force. I'm totally down to do that. But, I feel like I could also do it from a behind the desk kind of standpoint. But at the same time, I don't want to get involved in the private industry. And that's, what the newness of that antitrust thing that happened is it allows me to trust more in myself and allow me to trust in the fact that we have more freedom and that our liberties are defended. And it's not like I've been unaware of many forms of propaganda. I would just call extreme propaganda. But I would just say that I don't know, just whatever's best. But whatever. Just put it that way. I'll just put it that way. I mean, it's not. It's not. And it could be could be something really major, the newness of really building new attributes, and then becoming stronger because of them. So that's what I'm all about. Ow. And at this point, we deserve excellence. And we've earned excellence. We've earned a product of excellence, and I was going to say we earned a product of divinity, but I'm not really sure how that really makes sense. But anyway, it's a win-win situation. Everybody wins, and we are winning, and that's what matters. We are winning on all fronts, on every front, each and every way. It's a very exciting time to be alive. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm just saying, don't. How do I say this? Okay, if you want to get excited, then, that's, everybody has the right to their own emotions. And so, I'll just say, don't get too excited. Don't get excited at all. Because I'm really, I'm dedicated, and I'm curious, and I'm listening, and I'm working hard, and I'm taking notes, and, advising and broadcasting. I want to know. I'm really big on news. I'm really big on current events. I'm really big on just having the most probable, successful solution in all cases. So that's really important to me, and will continue to be important to me as I strive throughout the universe. Skipping through galaxies like a stone. And so it is. It's like a huge hint, And, we can go places. Like, we've been places. I've been to multidimensional lands, and I just know, that I'm get hints. As cliche as that sounds. It's like I've formulated a mastery of musical speech. Like the directorship of the leadership that's found in the excellence of that top-notch frontier, front of the lines founder of the sound Jedi shinobi. Not putting it out there, but I got some tenacity and some abilities, and it's really creative to see the types of solutions that exist out of the dedicated hard work that has to come from somebody who's basically, aware and, from even a huge part of the underground, of the hollow earth, of the inner earth. And I feel that presence so deeply and so sincerely, and I treasure it, and I respect it, and I really feel that impact. And it's really precious to see just something so fascinating and yet something so deliberate access levels of accomplishment that requires levels of wisdom to comprehend the excellence of just extraordinary effort that's done in just the little things that ego can provide, or just the little things that have to do with all the incredible work ethic that has been created by me, and that I've been creating, and the truth of the reality that's within me, that heart space that I have, that I literally have, allows you to take that step to really accomplish and really be a part of that newness. And the thing is, I wanted to go a little bit into psionic training. You can learn about psionics. I see Tesla everywhere. You really begin to learn about psionics and just how we actually have psionic abilities and capabilities, and just learning that that's there, that's functional, just gives you the awareness of the ability to be able to do so many great things. And I wouldn't ever doubt the greatness that's within the self, especially when it comes to discovering new things like psionics, because for some reason that's something that's new. It's not something that we know. It's not something that is taught at schools yet, but it's taught though. It's it's an actual, you can actually learn those abilities. And so of course unconditional love is the more important, powerful ability and importance and training, I guess, or at least, I am saying that from my point of view, but more specifically, what about the point of view of the point of view, I guess, of one another. I think that's the best thing. It's one of the best solutions that we have. So, you just feel the greatness that is us. Yet there is much life and much productivity in life, and yet there's also, discovery of the self in who we are, what we want to do, and who we want to become, and all that jazz. So the little bits of magic are everywhere, The truth that's in our heart is everywhere. And I know, it means a lot to me because of, the extraordinary efforts that are just uncomparable to most of the things that I would say occur externally. Like, I would say most of the things that occur externally are part of, just aspects that I have a part of me that says I'm not really attached to. I don't really have attachments. I feel like that's like the successful part of me, like the successful aspect that I have. So, like the meetup happened and, things occurred and it's a win-win. Or, I don't know what I would call it, but it's just be more of like responsive energy, mastery. That's the best thing to call it, don't you think? I just sound so dangerous too. I just sound so just wicked awesome. And the truth is I am. Like, I feel like today I realized, like, I am my own superhero. And that, like, means a lot to me. So, like, that, like, really hit me the other day. So, it's pretty amazing. Dude, and I just know, just, like, the coolest things happen when, like, you believe in yourself, or when you, like, incorporate higher wisdom, as cliche as that sounds. Just, like, being the person you want to be, and then being excited about that person that you want to be, and the person that you're becoming, the thing that you want to be like, is an incredible experience, and that in the full life of paradise is guaranteed. So I'm in love. I'm truly in love with the creative source of all things, and that's when That's when when you have like an active relationship, and when you're actively like conferring and confirming and actually aware of all these, this truth of life and just creative source expansion that comes from within because of all the, like, even the imaginative aspects, they come alive. Ash. So, it's good to be alive. And I support life, as amazing as that sounds. And I support, like, the greatness that comes out of it. And so one of the most important things that I wanted to deliberate on is the importance of not just going into space with rockets and with rocket fuel and things like that, but going into space with the best stuff. And I think that since the antitrust means there's no siphoning and no illegal actions having to do with extreme snooping or extreme invasive behavior controlling what people do, say, hear, think, breathe, more into the aspect of how we can have the actual tools to co-create on a planet. Terraform in the most positive way. And that sounds radical, the word terraform, because of what movies portray, and because, it's still perhaps a new concept that not many people know about. I don't, besides those galactic beings and universal beings that actually terraform, and there are universal beings out there, don't get me wrong. Like, we are a part of the universe, and it just makes me, or allows me to realize just how awesome, once again, I just gotta give a shout out to Matt Kahn, because he's literally an incredible world changer. And, was really involved in some major benefits in life, or just major truths about about discovery, self-discovery. So I feel that's important. And, I'd still, support, like, the excellence of the acceleration of that, of just that leadership fuel fire, just that reason to start this brand new campaign of all the newness that it means and the unity of the laws being created perfectly by the time we get to that point, and just the collaboration until then. I feel like that's the most important thing that we could do nowadays, now that we actually have the foot to sort of place on the stepping hole that is now there. And I feel like that opportunity is something that we need to take advantage of fully, certainly, and wholeheartedly. And I, almost wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. We gotta know that there's key aspects of the self that we haven't discovered yet. Because how can something so large like that continue on without something responding in such a magnetic way? Like, how do you say that, like, this revelation of, well, it's not really a revelation because it's been known, but this revelation of, this is really big news too, really big news, but this just huge discovery and revelation that, all the nonsense that has been delivered, I'm really paraphrasing this, by the Chinese in terms of the types of market structure that exists in that format. And, it's just a market structure that really formulates ideology behind it that's incredibly complex compared to the actual freedom that is what is ultimately our birthright. And even beyond that, not getting into the nitty-gritty about all the things that were so anti-human. And I know a lot about that. And if you know me, you saw, my second most popular video is actually a video that I just was totally very explicit. And I'm usually not like that. I'm not like that at all. I mean, I can be like that, but I'm not like that. So that's just like one sort of memory that kind of, or one sort of prospect, object, or one sort of like reality that I defended so certainly, because I knew there's no way that globalists were going to win in any form or fashion. There's no way that I was going to let anything other than victory continue to be declaration nowadays. And that's what I really proclaim. I proclaim victory for all aspects of life, all levels of creation, all aspects of self, all aspects of truth, all aspects of enlightenment, and all aspects of who I am. And that is the truth of who I am. And it's excellent. It's vibratory. It has, heart space. It has all the great things that heart spaces should have. There's no heartlessness in the actual process of being aware of just how much freedom we actually now have to really be as free as we want. And, we need to, I think we actually are becoming greater than we realize. I feel like around the world we're making impacts and making, changes that are affecting parts of Europe, parts of China, parts of Japan, the islands, everywhere, and affecting Gaia, and affecting our chakras, and really affecting the vibratory rate of just the consciousness of understanding of what we can do together. Just, I would call the old words embassy and Star Nations, or in the more modern terms of headquarters of the Federation, here on Earth, here on Gaia. And, I keep doing that. And for some reason echoing multiple frequencies of reality. And, that's just what we are. And we learn from the masters. And one of those masters is Master Chia. And I feel like he's one of the greatest masters for breathing and life and stuff like that. Just like the rejuvenative force that is in all aspects of many, many branches of health. And we just put it under the umbrella of health when there's so many other aspects of. And I wanted to get into all the different types of biodiversity that exist in the applications of what can be applied biochemically or biotechnologically. Not that I'm really for biotechnology, which I'm not. Other than the healthier blood cells, the blood cells that absorb more oxygen. That I'm really into. So, yeah. I'm really into the aspect of discovering who we are. And I feel like that's a huge portion of really dominating the culture and really bringing out the aspects of what makes us independent and what brings out those greatest things. Because that's what's very attractive, That's what we're returning to, and that's what I think I see in the younger generations. At least that's what I bring out of them. And then that's what is, utilized, and it's great creative work, and I support it. I'm all for it. And no matter what happens, it's a positive reality. It's a positive goal, a positive spin, positive reality that's integrated into Gaia, into the Nova Gaia. That is Nova Gaia. That is New Earth. That is our New Earth. That is our version of New Earth. And, this has been a multidimensional aspect that's been said before, and I'm going to get really big the next 3 months. So I don't feel like holding back on anything that could possibly happen, especially in these next 12 years. This is the time where I can really celebrate the true tradition of what it means to be the greatest Victorian that has ever, existed, in the status of what can be stated in terms of victory, of what can be claimed in the celebration of individual journey and creatorship towards a love of create. And that's what's happening. We're coming home, and it's a really incredible truth aspect to who we are and what we want to become and who we love and what we are to do and who we actually are. The fact that we are light and love, and the fact that we are pure beings, and that there's all goodness around it, and all of the positivity that surrounds an individual, whether it's all the aspects that are still part of the individual, and I really am just pertaining to the I'm correlating to the effect of the economic, military-industrial complex, etc., to what it has upon the mental, spirit, soul, heart, mind complex, matrix complex of the as what I guess we would call the self. So that quality and that relationship, we're the best. We are doing what can be done. We're doing what needs to be done. We just are the radiance that we are, and it contributes in a magnetic way that's massive, and it's really, really just about being the self and really bringing that back and supporting supporting higher dimensional energies that are here. And I could say so many things, from supporting Stephen Greer to people in general, and supporting the CE5 initiatives and the actual. And I honestly, I know there was one on the first, and I am kind of digressing. But the point is, these next 12 years can be all about that exopolitical relationship enhancement in the greatest way possible. And I really support the victorious part of it. And I believe it. But when it comes to, the severity of the situation, there's no denying that we have to do the best that we can. There will be more discoveries today, There will be discoveries today. That's can be guaranteed. There will be big impacts that will occur. And, this is what it's all about. So, I want to really be expressive in what it means to be in tune with just higher vibrational energies and or the higher self, just the higher aspect of the self, or just more confidence in the generation, or just more positive, because I'm a very encouraging, positive person. Just the things that I've accomplished that are that I can just say that I've been there in the most powerful glory statement that could ever be translated in a creative format of what understanding of what it could be is. I just really fully am in tune with the now moment, and I'm totally capable of being a great leader, a great aspect of all that is, a great aspect of the galaxy, an aspect of the universe. I'm totally fine with that. And it's it seems to some sort of psychic ability that I have. It seems like the psychic abilities that I have are attracting more and more and more of the things I want in my reality to be present in my reality, and the positive high vibrations of the whole vibration just allows me to exist in a higher vibration of pure love, pure light, pure energy. There's infinite energy. There's an infinite source of energy. I know it. It's 8th dimensional, but I feel that. I know that must be true. It's just pure white light, just pure energy. It's just so massive. It's so resilient. And, once again, I do want to have a shout out to Xylemland, and I love Xylemland. I feel like I've conquered it. I've actually conquered Xylemland. I've conquered the language. I've conquered the native aspect of it. I am a native Saiyan, a native psychic master. Because I've been so... Because when you get to a certain point, I was gonna say, you just get so fed up with the amount of effort that you put into something that is so tremendous, the amount of tremendous effort that was put into Infowars.com and the support that I gave, just as an example, to my body was tremendous in terms of health, and I have become superhuman because I believe in having to really discover what it's like to be raised in an environment such as this. And to know that there's something grander out there, and to reach for that, and to claim to be a leader of this revolutionary fulfillment stage of life now. This is a fulfillment stage of life. This is where we're fulfilling all the greatness that we are to become because of the excellence that we are and the victory that we have proclaimed, and just the truth of the embodiment of what we're capable of, and just that tenacity, just of knowing the good wins, and just globalists are invited into unconditional love. I think so. I think the more unity that exists, which I've guaranteed in my last broadcast, or stated in the millions of articles, well, I say millions of articles, but just in the articles, what I mean to say is, maybe the article was probably like worth $1 million. That's the only relation to $1 million, though, that article has, or the articles that have been put out, like Project Hypercane, Project Vocal Earthshake had an article in a few issues. I think they had 2 issues, or 3 issues, 4 issues. And Project Immortalize had 1 or 2 issues. The greatness of who we become is absolutely infinite, so I'm very excited. And I'm very dedicated. And very resilient. And very honest about the dedication that we can manifest. Like, this is the time. Like, if you want to add on your psychic abilities because you know they exist, then continue to make an effort in some way, shape, or form towards allowing the most higher vibrational energies to impact Gaia in the most profound way, including the political side. I feel like now is our chance to really become a unified collective that's so connected, so like entrained, and just so intrinsically ready, and just absolutely profound, that we become an evolutionary transcendence, excellence of portrayal. That we exude the glory of the greatness that is what was the birthright of this country. And, what makes a great country, and what makes a great planet, and what makes a great galactic society ultimately. What makes a great example for what can accelerate us into that absolute truth of knowing that there's excellence in every facet. I feel like that's the most important thing. And when I say excellence in every facet, I mean like excellence in every facet of health, every facet of medical, every facet of transportation, galactic, intergalactic, interplanetary, solar, star system wide, to the technology having to do with creation and development, or architecture and bioenhancement, or new stages of new levels of fitness and new levels of creativity that we don't have words and statements for yet. I mean, and we think that the best way to do that is by being honest with who we are, and that we are already there, and being honest with the fact that we deserve it, and that, we should already be there, and we should know what that feeling feels like, and that we should feel that feeling, and that we should always be in tune with that
vibration, feeling, and awareness, and then that we should use that to propel us forward. Propelling us forward into what? Into the essence of just who we are, so we can become more like the greatest, like, divine beings that we are. And I feel like I have to say that, because that's, it's very inspirational, yeah, but it's kind of, honest, and it's good. It feels good. We have one of the greatest opportunities to really just pull and balance and leverage ourselves. And I really don't want to make comparisons, but level ourselves against, and that's something that we really shouldn't do. We really shouldn't compare, or something I don't want to do, don't like to do. Our new habit I've formed is we really shouldn't compare ourselves to others too much, at least. I really don't think that should happen, because that really distracts from things. And anyway, so I really think there should be more purpose behind whatever I was just saying. Probably have to do something with psychic things, but I know that we have the capabilities to truly be intrinsically in tune in this form of leadership that is this 12-year campaign journey. Now 11 years. And I'm confident in that. There are great things that are coming our way. Cosmic energies, cosmic waves, solar energy, solar waves. It's good. We are deserving of excellence, because we have done great things. It appears that, to me, at least, it appears that there's no way that there's any reason or any form or any construct that can take away from the victory that is claimed in that true beingness of the light. And I feel like that entrainment is the pureness of victory of who we are. I think the more that we become in tune with ourselves, the more we recognize who we are. And the more we recognize who we are, the more we can be in tune with who we want to become. And that's an important aspect of us, together. Like being a Morpheus, or morphingable, an morphing body. Like, we have our own cocoons. I feel like there's a lot of, and I'm so glad that I watched Godzilla, because I really like Alexis Jones's critique on it, because it really allows me to now correlate those things to, like, how, Godzilla is just this amazing, just biodiverse beast that's just capable of so many incredible things. And, like, the tremendousness of just the symbolism from the three-headed Hydra is just absolutely incredible. And the lightning that comes, oh gosh, it's just amazing. But it might have been a little spoiler alert. So, But anyway, it's just awesome, massive, creative, incredible. I'm excited. So, I mean, I'm in the directorship of Project Lightseed, and I'm going to the stars with that. So, I'm going full headed, full steam, and I'm not slowing down. There's no reason to. I am really excited about this almost year and a half anniversary of what it actually takes to become a leader, a revolutionary, a pilot, whatever you want to call it, a futurist, a trailblazer. I'm definitely a trailblazer with Fire of Liberty. I said some fiery things back then, and I really have a fiery soul. So when it comes to victory in this standpoint, I stand by it, and I stand by it strongly, and that's an important aspect of us and me. It's incredible, and it's like I can hear the sounds of victory. I can hear the joy of discovery. And it's fascinating to me. Oops. How just amazing we are. And it's just creative, very in tune. And I feel like music has a huge part of everything that is me too. So I feel like I am trying not to heavily rely on Sound Jedi Shinobi, to be honest, if you really discover who I am, which is not that easy to do, to be honest, turns out. But if you'd know that my multifaceted universe is just absolutely tremendous. And I'm being honest. It's an aspect of me, it's an aspect of who I am, because applying the range of possibilities to just, for example, let's just put it out there. Let's just say the two shinobi that are out there. Then, you got a truly honest and incredible system of balance. And it's the most incredible positive system of balance since I became the founder. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I do, and I need to explain that, and I go into details about that, which I'm totally down to do. Like, how exciting is that? Like, I also, I'm like the modern age. Like, I've been a pretty successful comedian since third grade, since third grade, and I was so funny. I am so funny. And I realized that it's a really important aspect of humor. So, like, the things, and I'm getting sidetracked, but bring it back to the importance of the standard. Like, I teach. I lead by example. I'm a very, very good mentor in the realm of connecting immediately to the core, of the core of Gaia, to the core of humanity, to the core of us, to the core of love, to the importance of the higher vibration of forgiveness and of bliss, and to the truth of our family that is galactic, that is in our inner earth, and all the beings that are there, the fairies, the pixies, the elementals, the mer people, the merfolk, the tree people, the treants, the dragons, and the dragon eggs, and the fairies. I think I already said that. But there's an actual real world of magic that's alive. And the elves, all the different types of elves and all the classes of elves, it is so miraculous and advanced what we're actually a part of. And, I feel like it's an important thing as an ambassador to really bring that out there, to really inform people about, like, hey, like, we're really awesome. Like, and I want to do the best that I can to make sure that I lead by example to connect with all these awesome beings that are actually alive here and now, that are alive and well. Like, we should have great connections and relationships with the unicorns and the dragons that's very balanced and aligned with the ascended collective of Gaia, who is the mother of Gaia, who is the mother of, like, where we are, and actually is our form, part of our form, and the respect. I think that's just a common relationship that we have, to be honest, and we should respect that, as well as the ascended crystal kingdom. So I should just go into more details of just how just that high vibrational respect allows true tenacity to come through when it comes to the importance of defending what is good. And that's what I do very well, defend what is good. And I'm able to really, really be in tune with life and really be in tune with, like, who we are. So I find that character is an important driving force in me, and that my steadfast beingness portrays that. And that's what I'm getting at, Pretty exciting. And, I'll always do my best. But it's important to heal, rest when necessary. There's many things to be excited about. And just the cuteness of who we are is literally adorable. I can kid you not, It's pretty cool. I love all the time. I love humanity. I love the trees. I love the earth. I love all the different life forms that are here. I love the higher vibrational life forms. I love the angels. I love the archangels. I have love for the crystal kingdom that is immense. I have love for the Cetaceans and the Palladian family that are here. It's really present, I'm known for, I might as well put it out there, I do have some extraordinary performances. I'm not gonna lie. So, I just gotta be honest with that persona that is the language that I speak, the tongue movements, the tongue wisdom that I have for the different notes for the musical instruments that I play. Same thing with the fingers, that I incorporate that in my life. I really do. And I feel like that's important, because our tongue is like connected to the roof of our mouth and connected to our body, So making those tongue movements, tonguing, is pretty fun, Different marcato, staccato, pizzicato, accents. You can really add that to life. And I'm all about the marcatos. This is what you could say about me. I'm a pretty awesome guy. Like, I like marcatos, It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome life. And that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I started doing. Like, for the first time, I started surrendering to the divine within myself, and then to the divine within myself. And I just really started to really open up and just really pour my heart out. And I've been able to do that now for consecutively a few days. Or, well, to be honest, just since 9 o'clock or so last night. And I really, really wish... I was in the movies during Eric Kahn's live video broadcast, so I couldn't watch it. I don't know why I said that, but... I was watching Godzilla, and I was just watching how incredible just the environment is there. Like, that's a huge opportunity to, you actually are with people that, you don't see every day normally. Sometimes you're with your friends or with family or with relatives or etc., co-workers or whatever, favorite tree plant, whatever happens in there. And, like, you become really, you become kind of close, I think. I think we become close. You become close because you always see, you probably see movies together or like, just the fact that, you've seen this movie together and, like, you're now part of that collective that has seen. Maybe I'm getting too much into it, but I feel like that happens a lot more now. I pay attention to that stuff. Maybe too much, so I'm just aware. But anyway. I respect that aspect of us. And, like, our love for one another. And because love is the answer. Like, if you want to find the answer to, like, to all the corruption that is now, like, no longer in existence, you just say that, if you would have to say it, like, I feel like it's ridiculous that you'd have to say it, but you just say, like, there's no more corruption that I'm tolerating it because it's not in this vibration. Well, it's not in my vibration, I'm sorry. Like, if you are involved in any sort of super corruptness that's been involved being numbers that are in the trillions with programs that are formerly known as unacknowledged special access programs, which is old news, but still pretty big stuff, is to the types of shopping that they did and the types of projects that are involved in construction and the development of actual advanced, well, it seems as advanced to us, but actual craft and spacecraft and anti-gravity craft and ships and starships and spaceships. I think there's a difference between starships and spaceships. I don't know what it is yet, but I know this Andromedans have a biosphere that's like circular, a sphere, and it's huge, like 23 miles in diameter or something like that. I need to research that again, but anyway. Like, that's what I'm really big on. Like, that is a truly big deal, because in a way, like, if I'm not mistaken, which I know I'm not mistaken, like, there's a lot of money going towards that, and we don't have any say in that, so now we have a say in that, and we're not, being tortured with propaganda that has to do with anything other than what we want. In terms of, like, what we want to create in our reality, which is really advanced, There's underground railroads, tunnel systems of really fast trains. There's elevators. I mean, there's so many facets of just transportation that it would just boggle the mind. So, and the tunnels are pretty amazing too. It's a pretty cool aspect of the planet itself, and I feel like the movie was pinpointing at that a little bit. Like just a little bit at least, I think. Oh, so I just know that there is so much personification in that movie that has to do with, like, first of all, the significance in I don't know what to say. I think it's like the significance in other than like I have no other way how to say this, but the significance in like the family and because I don't want to be like discriminatory in what I'm about to say, but then again I don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to be hurting the feelings of others because that matters. What I'm trying to say is because I feel like that happens still, but I could be wrong. But anyway. It's just being responsive and assertive is pretty important nowadays. It's like, I think the family aspect and just the age aspect of, and just like the generational aspect of, like, and just the actor aspect of having one of the main characters from Stranger Things in the movie, being one of the main characters in the movie, and she was the one to actually, master that alpha code and really bring that alpha code to the stadium. And it was amazing because, that's what I do. Like, that's what I've made a call for, try to have book these stadiums with, just full of song, full of singing and stuff like that, and just the loudest sounds with the most amount of musicians possible. So, and, then what shows up is, this huge, the first thing is that this assertive Hydra, which is making all the sounds first, which is, there's frequencies differences in, like, the sounds differences that were being portrayed by, that were being portrayed at that time, and there's a connection, just, like, throughout the entire movie, but at that particular point, like, by herself, she made the sounds and then got out of there. It's like a sign that we actually have psychic abilities, that we actually have psychic responsibility, that we can become in tune with those abilities that, we can really believe in something like that fully, because I think there's a difference between psionics and psychic. I'm certain there is. So I would stick to psionic. Our psionic abilities, as long as we become in tune with them, we are capable of anything. So I think we need to be more aware of them, our psychic tendencies, and learn from them. There's much greatness to be understood, much to be done, much love to encompass and to hold. So, definitely enjoy. Definitely in celebration mode of, like, all the awesomeness that I am. Because here's the thing. I have mastered the art of transcendence in a very unique way. I have mastered this self on so many levels. I almost don't even want to bother explaining, but I will. Like, the things that make me so cool is because I really believe in the unity of those aspects and the aspects of myself, because of my unity with the creation of higher vibrational civilizations and more advanced civilizations in the now. I'm that powerful. So it's not about power, because, like, usually power means you want to have power over others, but I'm not claiming power over others. I'm claiming self-responsibility for the choices I make. which I believe is a superpower, because that means I believe in the unconditional love that I am, because I believe in this and who I am. I don't know how you cannot. Like, do people go around saying like they don't trust themselves, or they don't love themselves, or they don't care about themselves? Or do people that just go like, oh, I want to do the most horrible things to myself, I just want to be absolutely cruel and cruddy to myself, and there's, purpose driven behind, my just absolute distaste for this? Who would be striving towards something like that? Like, I'm so on the full-on side of that we're like responsible for ourselves and responsible for our own actions, that I just don't see any other way to. I almost don't see any other way to navigate. Well, that would be kind of close-minded, but I almost don't see any other way to navigate life in the productive manner that has to do with what you want. Like, how could you want to deal with something you don't want? Like, I feel like I never deal with things that I don't want, like, ever. Isn't that just a mentality? Isn't that just what they want you to think? To think that we can't think for ourselves, and that we can't have our own emotional, intellectual justice for what we believe that we can do, or what we just emanate? Is there just no respect or adoration or care or acknowledgement of the greatness of the individual that might exist? Like, how is that even a part of the aspects that we can create in our lives? I would say it isn't. It's not. Like, it doesn't. Like, I'm so tired of hearing it doesn't exist. Like, the things that they're saying don't exist, but it's so true. Like, some things that they say just don't exist. And what I mean by they is, like, how can anything in a reality that exists of pure love, which ultimately have the aspects of things that have to do with going against the health and going against the natural energetic flow of the human body? Like, come on. Like, it is all about the honesty and all about the greatness that exists in the livelihood of said body and of said mind, and everything should be working for it. Everything. There should be so much development for what support is, for the human body. Just for the human body. That's just one. Like, well, how specific do we gotta get? From education to, there's so many aspects of positive nutrition. We need to take the positive nutrition and aspect it. But then again, I am my own leader for AJA, being a headmaster. I feel like it's a huge part of really being a leader in education for these developments when it comes to headmastering. And just as a master, like, I feel like that's just now a word. just because there's so many 16-year-old headmaster level beings, that ultimately there's enough of a shift that there's no longer any type of subtlety that has to do with anything that is with lack, or with anything that we don't want, with anything that we don't need. I feel like that's very clear. So it's pretty awesome. Or it should be clear. So I feel like that's pretty awesome.